The League of Women Voters was born on Valentine's Day in 1920, just 6 months before the 19th Amendment was ratified and women won the right to vote. Over the years that followed, the League fought tirelessly for all citizens to have the right to vote and access to the polls. In the 1920s, the League of Women Voters of Southwestern Indiana was established. The new chapter fought hard during the women's suffrage movement to make sure all those living in southwestern Indiana had the same rights. Today, the League is still fighting to get people out to vote.
I grew up in a family where I saw my mother and father vote in every election, so I really didn't think otherwise when it came to the time in my life when I was able to vote.
A lot of people, whether it's minorities or women, people of color, were not always allowed to vote. So I think that having that right and it being equal for everybody is important to take up that and have our voices be heard.
Our vote is our power. Through our votes, elections make our voices heard. The League protects and empowers millions of voters every year to ensure that our elections are fair, accessible, and representative of all Americans. But even with that, many Americans still don't exercise their right to vote.
I think now, the times that we live in, a lot of people just feel like their vote doesn't matter. And I think, again, it's our job to get out there and let people know that, their vote does matter. It's important for them to get out and vote. And just to let people know if they don't, some of the situations that we'll be in and continue to be in if we don't get out there and do our part.
I think there's a variety of reasons people don't vote, and I think they include apathy, just not realizing the significance of some of the issues that are going on at the current time. I think also sometimes it's a matter of convenience.
People definitely take their right to vote for granted. I think there are lots of people who hold it sacred and do it faithfully, especially I think a lot of young people take it for granted because maybe they didn't have to fight so hard to get things that maybe they're used to having, or the world hasn't been what it was.
Elections affect every area of our lives, from healthcare to jobs to racial justice. When we choose our leaders by voting, we're choosing the people who will make decisions that shape the direction of our country and our communities.
What those candidates believe in goals. So I think that we have to send the message that we're going to vote so that they know what issues are important to us as voters. If we don't vote, how are they ever going to know that?
Being part of the LGBTQIA+ community, I see it as a duty that I have to be a part of the community, to be involved, to try and help continue that momentum forward of change. There's still a long way to go, but if people my age, if people younger than me don't get involved and don't carry that mantle forward, then we will start to roll back.
I think issues come and go as far as their importance and their resonance, but I think that they are far more important probably on a day-to-day basis in people's lives than what's happening or not happening nationally.
Local elections affect our everyday lives. These are the elections for local community offices such as mayors or school boards. Elected officials at the local level impact decisions in your community. Everything from public safety to trash collection to the books that are used in your child's classroom.
Of course, presidential elections, it's on television, it's sort of part of the conversation. Local levels, I think it's incumbent upon candidates and advocacy leaders to help people understand the importance of those local races.
The more we can get people re-engaged with their local community and not just reading Twitter or reading what's going on nationally or watching national cable news or whatever, the more people can realize things that are actually impacting their community locally every day.
It's really important for us to get out, especially young people that sometimes assume voting is not important, but it's our job to get out and let people know why it's important. And I think local elections are really something that we push because that really does affect our everyday life.
That's why the League of Women Voters of Southwestern Indiana holds events every year to educate the public and get people signed up to vote.
Thanks for your question.
For example, At Meet Your Legislators, you can ask your representatives questions about issues important to you and hear firsthand their responses. The League is dedicated to ensuring that all eligible voters, especially those from traditionally underrepresented or underserved communities, including first-time voters, non-college youth, new citizens, minorities, and low-income Americans, have the opportunity and the information to exercise their right to vote. In 2006, the League of Women Voters launched vote411.org. Vote 411 is a one-stop shop for election-related information. Vote 411 provides resources to the public, including locations of where to vote, a look at the ballots, candidates' positions on important issues, and much more, including the ability to register to vote with the click of a button. The state of Indiana has indianavoters.com, which is a similar one-stop shop resource for election-related info. IndianaVoters.com also provides the ability to register to vote, along with polling place locations, a look at the ballot, and much more election-related information. These resources are available to help as many Americans cast their ballot as possible, because democracy is not a spectator sport.
I've only been allowed to vote for 102 years now as a woman, so it means the world being able to go in there and cast my vote like anybody else.
As John Lewis said, the vote is sacred. So when I go in and vote, I really feel like I have that obligation. The ancestors are looking to see that we're fulfilling that obligation.
I think even, in what I might consider the smallest election or the smallest issue or whatever, it all counts. And so I'm proud to go participate.
I'm very proud to. Not only, my parents, my grandparents, they've been pushing it, for years, and, letting us know, the younger generation, and what they went through. I think it's important for us to get out and vote.